Okay, happy Tuesday. So remember, I'm out this morning due to an appointment for the baby. All right, so they want you to find in your warm-up your horizontal and vertical intercepts. Your horizontal is your x-intercept. Okay, so x-intercept. So yesterday we talked about that's when y equals 0. Whereas our vertical intercept is our y-intercept. And that's when x equals 0. So you need to find both of those. Okay. All right. So we're only going to do activity 1 today. And then I'm going to help you start some of the homework assignment questions just so that it makes sense. Okay. So we're going to use this diagram and we're going to explain true or false and how do we know. Okay, so we have multiple lines going on. So this one wants line M and wants us to see if 40 is on that. Okay, so line M is this one right here. I may even change the color just so that it sticks out. So this is the line we're looking at. It wants to know, is 40 on that line? Well, 40 is right here. So is that on the line? No. So this is a false statement. All right. Okay, so we'd say false. And then explain your thinking. Well, we looked and saw that it does not lie on the line. Okay. Some of these are easy enough that you could do that you can just like, oh yeah, I can easily tell that it doesn't work. All right, so again on line M, and line N. The coordinates of point G make both of the equation for the line M and N true. So now we're comparing two lines with another point. So N is this line over here. And see how we have point G? Well, point G is intersecting both lines. So this would be a true statement. Okay, so we'll say true. True. And our thinking is point G lies at the intersection of lines N and M. Okay. All right. Now 3 is 0 or is 2 0. Make both the equations for the line M and N true. So is it a solution for both lines? So again, we're comparing our blue line and the other. And 2 0 is our point J. If we look, point J, is that on either of those lines? Nope. So this is another false statement. Okay. And it's false because it doesn't lie on either. So that's why that one's a false. B, or not B, 4. There is no solution to the equation represented by the line that the y has a value of 0. Okay, so we gotta find L. Here's L. And they want y to equal 0. Well, remember, lines go on forever. So if I was to take this point here and keep going and going and going, eventually it is going to cross over here. So there is an order pair. If we knew it, the equation to that line, we could find it. So this is a false statement. There is one. Okay. Now, while the graph does not show this value, I know it will eventually cross the x-axis. And that's when y equals 0. So it's here. There we go. So it's all put on one side. If you need to pause and catch up with any of that, feel free to do so. Okay, so we had false, true, false, false. Okay, well, like I said, we're going to skip activity 2. It's about matching cards and stuff. So if I was to do this with you, there are cards. So if you really want to practice it, you can. But there's parts of the assignment I want you to do where it makes it a little bit harder. So see how here we have, they would give you a card. You'd be like, oh, my first card is card A. Then you would go to your next thing here. Oops. And then it has different information. Here's order pair. Here's an equation. Here, how would you solve this? Okay, so this is where you would need to know. Which do you need to know? Card A would go over here. Okay, card C would be we need to know an X or Y. That makes sense. That's all it's asking. All right, so you'll have an exit ticket to do. You're looking to see if these order pairs work on here. Okay. Now, problem 1 has 2 different slides. I'm going to help you with some of it. I'm actually going to do it though on here. Okay. So the top 2 are on your first slide. What you're looking for is filling in the number they gave you. So here it's telling me x is -3. So I got to go back into my equation and replace x with the value given. So y equals 6 times -3 plus 8. Well, 6 times -3 is -18 plus 8. That makes -10. Okay. And then you need to do the opposite for the next one. You're plugging in 2 for y. Okay, let's look at B here. This time I'll work the y out. So 2 equals 2/3 x. And it's like a one-step equation. How do I get 2/3 to the other side? Remember, multiply by the reciprocal, which means keep, change, flip. Well, my 2's cancel, and I get 3. Okay. All right. I'm going to skip problem 2. You need to do these other 2 tables as well. All right, so we're going to skip problem 2. And it's because we got 3 and they're really big numbers that have to work with fractions. So I just don't like it. All right, number 3. Are the ordered pairs solutions to this equation? Show or explain your thinking. Well, if you show me the arithmetic way, if you're doing this on paper, that works. If you're doing it on the iPad, you explain what you replace x and y with. Okay. So here I would take my y is now 1.5 equals 1/4 times 1 plus 5/4. Okay. Well, this is 1/4. So is 1.5 equal to 6/4? Well, if you want, you can take your calculator and take 6 divided by 4, and you get 1.5 equals 1.5. So this one is a yes. So do the same type of steps to find out if 12/4 is a solution. Now they want you to find the x-intercept for part B. The x-intercept is when y equals 0. So you need to plug in 0 and solve for x. So you got to do some algebraic steps. Remember the opposite of addition and subtraction, and then remember how you divide with a fraction. All right, 4. We have a group of hikers. This is the graph for the trail. How far is the campsite from the car? All right. So we have a mile. So the distance from the car is this point where we're starting. So that's your answer to A. It's like your y-intercept. Then write an equation that gives the distance d from the car for any hour's height. Now remember, this is technically our x and this is technically our y. So when you write your equation, you're replacing y with d and x with h. Okay, so you need to know your slope and your y-intercept that I just pointed out for you. So those are the only two numbers you need to take in and replace in there. Once you have that, you can solve your answer for C. All right, and 5. Okay, which graph goes with A and which graph goes with B? Which one makes sense? 6, you are writing an equation to each relationship described. So I'm going to do A for you, and then you're going to solve B. Okay, so A, we have the cost per pound of grapes, and we have bananas that cost 59 cents per pound. We have $15 to spend. We're going to use G for grapes. So this one's going to be in standard form like yesterday. All right, so I have $2.39 times my grapes plus how much I'm going to buy bananas for, which is 0.59 times my B for bananas. Together, that equals $15. Okay. Now B, I will give you a hint, is in slope intercept form. Okay. So there's a savings account that starts with $50, and then there's $20 deposited each week. So 50 is going somewhere and 20 is going somewhere. One of them's your M, one of them's your B. Alrighty. So finish up those problems, and then it's your assignment for the day. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.